Hello, I'm Captain Casey Campbell. I'm a Public Information Officer for Colleton County Fire Rescue. In light of the events that took place on July 4th in Texas, we wanted to put together an informational video regarding flooding. What you see in this video is what some described as a wall of water. And this is what we really want to try to get focused in on is just the sheer strength and the force behind that water. As you see, it's taking down trees. This is not something you're going to be able to run away from. And that's why it's so important when these alerts are sent out for the flash flood warnings that we adhere to them. You should also never try to drive through anything like that. That would immediately sweep that car away. Just as you see, it was strong enough to pick up a house clean off its foundation and literally slam it into this bridge. This is a little time lapse video that we thought was very interesting. You can see that wall of water moving from right to left. And look at the time lapse up in the corner, just how fast this moves. And you'll actually watch those responders have to move back in a very short amount of time. That's why it's so important, again, is to adhere to the warnings. You cannot outrun it. You have to seek higher ground, and you have to have a plan. We want to continue to pray for Texas, the families, all the responders and the volunteers that are there still doing the work. So just remember to continue to lift them up, and we need to also prepare here on the local level. As you can see on your screen, this is an outdoor emergency alert siren. They're not super common around our area, but there is something that we did want to talk about as a number of people are discussing the benefits of emergency alert sirens. While sirens have some value in local areas with limited specific hazards, they are not feasible in Colleton County for a number of reasons. First, the effective range of a siren is about 1 square mile, and each siren system costs $160,000. Since Colleton County is 1,182 square miles, we would need initially $191.4 million. And this does not include the funds to maintain each site. Second, sirens are very ambiguous in their alerts and the responses we desire. There are nuclear emergency alert sirens, tornado sirens, tsunami sirens, flood sirens, and prison escape sirens, and many use the same sound. All of these require a different public protective action. For tornadoes, you shelter in the lowest level of your home in the most interior room. For flooding, you shelter at the highest level of your home if you cannot evacuate and seek higher ground. Having a single sound that can correctly be interpreted by both citizens of Colleton County and the many visitors we have for multiple types of emergencies and multiple types of actions that must be taken in a response is just not feasible. While some sirens can produce multiple sounds, such as the one that the U.S. Air Force uses, where they use both a tone and a text phrase, that can be even more confusing, especially for visitors who may not associate the sound with the correct threat. Let's address the elephant in the room, social media. Is it good? Is it bad? We already utilize social media for public messaging. Primarily, we use Facebook and X, which was Twitter. We also have an Instagram account, but the problem with Instagram is you have to have an image to have any text, and sometimes we do not have an image readily available to share. That's why you see us having more traffic on Facebook and X. And again, the other problem with this is not everybody has Facebook or X. Some people prefer TikTok, and more people use Instagram and Snapchat. And even if we had an account for every one of those platforms, we're not considered influencers, so we're not going to have a huge following of people. Our Facebook page does have a large group of followers that we're very thankful for. They share information. And that's very important. The more information we can share, the better. So all of us can play a part in that. All you have to do is simply just hit share it to a group, share it to your friends, send it in Messenger. That's what's important, is all of us getting together and sharing the same information. And one thing you will notice is that we don't reinvent the wheel. We're sharing information from valid, trusted, reliable resources, such as South Carolina Emergency Management Division, the National Weather Service in Charleston, the NOAA organizations, the National Hurricane Center. They're all trusted, credible information sources. The last thing we want is a backyard meteorologist spreading false information, and we did experience that in Helene. So that's why social media can be good and it can be bad. You have to make sure that you have it from reliable resources. Let's talk about some ways that you can receive alerts in Colleton County. One great way is to have yourself a NOAA weather radio. You can go out to the store and purchase one of these things. And what's really nice about this particular model, it has a nice digital readout across here. So it will display what type of warning it is, whether it's a tornado warning, a watch, or an advisory. It also has a digital clock in the background, so it's kind of nice. You sit it on a nightstand, it doesn't stick out or anything. But you might be asking yourself, where do I buy one of these? Well, you may not have to. If you just simply like, comment, and share this post, we're going to actually be giving away 2 of these. So we'll put your name into a drawing, and then we'll pull it out of the drawing. And then, hey, guess what? You got yourself a brand new fancy NOAA weather radio. All right, let's talk about wireless emergency alerts. You have to make sure that these are enabled on your phone. This is what makes your phone do that really horrific tone that typically wakes you up in the middle of the night. So right here, we have an iPhone. You're going to go down into your settings and click on that notification button and scroll all the way past your apps, and down towards the bottom, you will see government alerts. You want to make sure that the toggles are on the green side is showing. Make sure your emergency alerts are enabled. Make sure that your local awareness alerts, and that it always plays a sound. Those are all very important. You don't necessarily need to have the test alerts down, but that's how we make sure that our phones are enabled. Another great way to stay informed is by signing up for Code Red, and you can do that by visiting www.colletonfire.com/code red. Now, it is important to know that when you register, we do not see any of your personal information. That is managed by a third-party company. They always call from the same phone number. They always text from the same phone number. And it's only a system that we use during emergencies, anytime we want to send out emergent information. And it can come, again, directly to your handheld devices, whether it's yours, your kids. Even if your kids don't live here, you can register their addresses to get alerts. If you work somewhere away from home, you can register your office address as well. That's why it's so important, and this is completely free to all of our citizens. In addition to receiving alerts from Colleton County officials, the National Weather Service, anytime they release warnings or watches, it will also go through the Code Red system. That's why it's really important to take advantage of this free service. Again, anytime that we have storms come up or inclement weather, even these afternoon thunderstorms that can get pretty intense pretty quick, the National Weather Service always puts out information. They have graphical hazards, they have marine forecasts, they have safety information. A lot of information can be found by visiting weather.gov/CHS. That's the National Weather Service in Charleston's webpage. As always, we remain committed to protecting lives and property of Colleton County citizens and visitors. Should you have any questions about this video, please give the Emergency Operations Center a phone call at 843-549-5632. Again, we continue to ask that you keep Texas in your prayers and all those that were affected by the July 4th flooding. Again, please share this video with your friends. The more information we can get out, the better. We need your help. And you might win yourself a free NOAA weather radio. Thanks for watching.